Let's talk about chick crack and how to use it to our advantage.
We're going live.
We'll do it live.
This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. We are live. I got to thinking about chick crack because of Monday's episode with Paul Benjamin on attachment styles. And there is some research behind attachment theory and attachment styles and stuff like that. But the way the average woman looks at it, right? The average, some dudes on TikTok too, but most women, whenever I see videos about it, I swear to God, they treat attachment styles like it's astrology, like it's the horoscope. Like, well, I'm a dismissive avoidant, so I need myself a securely attached man. It's like, stop it. So I was like, let's do an episode on chick crack today. I also interviewed Offie Kingdom recently. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's got like 65 books or whatever. He's been in the space a long time. He's friends with everybody in the space, and he was talking to me about how he likes to use love languages to seduce women. Right? Oh, your top love language is acts or is words of affirmation. Well, and then he just fills up their love cup with all sorts of bullshit. It's, oh, damn it, guys. We're not at the 8-minute mark. Thank you, Nathan. You single-handedly kept the show monetized with $2. I appreciate you. You get this one. Well, I'm going to try to dig myself out of this hole. So I'm not going to play that one. You're going to get the man today. I got news for you, baby. You're looking at the man. Yeah. You're the man with $2 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Oh, yeah, man. Astrology plus love language equals sex. Yeah, if you do it right, you do it right. So many guys in the space are like, they try to, scoff at the love languages and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's dumb, but chicks love it. chicks love it. Use it to your advantage. So anyway, let's see here. We can the big thing about it though is, she's interested in it, right? One of the things that I teach guys is to straight out of How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you take a genuine interest in what a chick's saying and be an active listener and let her do like 80% of the talking, she thinks you're the greatest guy in the world, right? And so if she's really into astrology and you just take a genuine interest in her interests of it, ask her questions and stuff, then she's gonna think you're great. Hey, Spoon, stop it. Come here. Nurse Chick's dog's in the house. Spoon, come here. Your dog's ruining the show. Guys, before we get too far into this, be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications, please. Yeah. Drop comments. Any comment will do, especially in the live chat. That helps this go by quicker if you guys are participating. And thank you for sending super chats in advance. That helps support the show. Like all my streams lately, as soon as they're done, they immediately go yellow on the back end, which is you're demonetized. And usually most people watch your show within the first like 24 hours. You know what I mean? And so it's like you're demonetized for the prime watch time of everybody of the show. It's kind of nonsense when I'm extra careful to not, say bad words before the first 8 minutes, but whatever. They hate me. So some common things most of us consider as chick crack in the space. I'm just going to list them off here. Let me know if I missed any or if I should add any, right? But we've got horoscopes in astrology, right? That's a big one. Like chicks are so big into what's your sign and, whatever. Mercury's in retrograde and all that stuff. Numerology. I'm not that big into numerology, but some people are into it. You have the love languages. I highly recommend reading that book, right? The 5 Love Languages. But you just know that it's not good to use to try to fix a broken relationship. You know what I mean? It's terrible. It's terrible thinking. There's actually studies that show that it has no bearing on your relationship at all. You know what I mean? Paul Benjamin and I did a whole episode on love languages. You should check it out. But it's good to know what they are and how to apply them, right? Because a lot of people look at love languages like it's astrology too, right? Like, oh, my love language is acts of service, so I need someone who's an acts of service person. Like that's not the idea behind it. The idea behind it is figuring out what that person's like top love languages are and speaking to them in their love language, right? So it doesn't matter what your love language is, you're speaking to them in their love language, right? Okay. It's a lot like NLP. You know, if you guys, I'm studying NLP right now, they're talking about language patterns and mirroring people to build rapport. And I knew about the mirroring thing, but the language patterns is something that's fascinating to me. But basically, you listen to people's speak, how they talk, and people are usually either auditory learners, they're visual learners, or they're kinesthetic learners, right? They have to touch something. They're hands on. And that comes out in the way they speak. So if they say, I feel a lot, oh, I feel like this, or, you know, I need a concrete example, you know, that's something that's, that you know, it's feelings based, right? You touch concrete, you're feeling stuff. They're a kinesthetic person. If they say, I hear you, I hear what you're saying, right? I hear what you're saying. It sounds like this, you know, stuff like that. Then they're an auditory learner, you know, primarily. If they say stuff like, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Then they're more of a visual person. So you got to listen to these cues, and then you turn around and talk to them using those same types of language, right? You say, you know, if they're visual and you say like, I see a lot and whatever, you're basically matching them and what their language pattern that they're used to. And then mirroring is when, let's say they tilt their head this way, you're in a conversation, then you slowly tilt your head the same way. All that stuff builds rapport, right? So love languages, same way. Then we have attachment styles. We talked about that on Monday's episode. I highly recommend you check that out. That's a good episode with Paul Benjamin. You have tarot and palm reading. You know, like Mystery and the pickup artists used to do palm reading and stuff like that as a part of their pickup routines, you know, back in the day. Chicks are into that. And then I have in here spirituality, right? They're spiritual, but not necessarily religious, right? Oh, I'm a spiritual person. What we got here in the chat? We got some people. Oh, hey, thank you so much, Riley, with a $10 super chat. Offie's the man. Did an interview with him on his wrestling channel. Also have a few of his books, +2 sign. Yeah, we talk about wrestling in that interview a lot. You get this. We're at the 8-minute mark.
I was just gonna say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
Yeah, Riley definitely fucks with a $10 super chat. Appreciate that, man. Let's see here. I use the what's your sign BS all the time. It's old school. It works though. Yeah, we're going all palmistry today. Yeah, of course. I'm not going to teach you guys how to read palms or anything. You guys are going to have to do your research on some of this stuff, but yeah, the palm lines or whatever is a great way to break the touch barrier if that's a hurdle with a chick. Yep. It definitely is. It's an excuse, right? It's an excuse to touch her. We can talk about all that later here. You know what else is chick crack, guys? What else could be considered chick crack? The law of attraction. The law of attraction. Chicks love the law of attraction, guys. That's not why I studied it. I actually believe in the law of attraction. I've had it work so much for me in my life that I can't deny its existence, right? The thing is, when you get into the spiritual side of it or into the vibrations and the energy stuff of it, right? Which, you know, that actually goes into the quantum theory of it. That starts getting very woo-woo quickly. And that woo-woo-ness is what chicks dig. Chicks dig the woo-woo. Let me play a commercial for my law of attraction course, and then we'll continue on here. Are you struggling to find a good quality woman? They are very rare indeed these days. If you spend any time at all watching content in the men's podcast space, or you spend time on dating apps or going out to clubs, you're seeing low quality, promiscuous women. You're finding women with daddy issues and personality disorders, or a myriad of other red flags, and you are frustrated. I get it, brother, but what if I were to tell you that the reason why you're only seeing these types of women is because of your mindset, because of your paradigm? We get what we focus on in life, and you have trained your mind to focus on the type of women that you don't want. So those are the types of women that keep showing up for you again and again. Let's change that mindset today. If you're a guy looking to attract high-quality, submissive women into your life, then I've got the perfect solution for you. And let me tell you, brother, it's all about mindset. That's right, you've got to reprogram your thinking to focus on the type of women you do want. That's where my Practical Law of Attraction course comes in. It's packed with proven psychology-based techniques that will help you manifest your dream woman. Trust me, you won't find this stuff anywhere else. Explained in such a simple, easy-to-use way. And let me tell you, when you start using these methods, you'll be amazed at how quickly things start changing for you. Picture this, you're out on the town, feeling confident and magnetic. All the women are drawn to you like moth to a flame. And best of all, you're attracting the type of women that are submissive and high quality. It's not that they weren't there before, it's that you weren't aware of them before. My course will teach you how to be more hyper aware of the kind of women that you actually want. It will teach you to believe that you're the most attractive man around. And when you believe it, you'll carry yourself that way. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for my course today. Visit loa.comeonmanpod.com. That's loa.comeonmanpod.com. Start living the life you've always dreamed of. Don't miss out on this opportunity to up your game and find the woman of your dreams. The law of attraction is nothing without action. So what are you waiting for? Act now. Act now, guys. So nurse chick, she when she leaves in the morning, she gets my coffee all set up and ready to go. I have a Keurig machine, and I just have to hit go, right? And so she gets that all ready. She gets the pod in there, she gets the cup out, and then she leaves a little love note for me, right? On the back, what she's been doing lately for the last few months is she writes funny jokes on the back. And the one this morning is actually appropriate. She says, doctor, the doctor says, what's your zodiac sign? And the patient says, I'm a Cancer. Why? And the doctor says, what a coincidence. Fucking terrible. Terrible, babe. But thanks for the coffee. Okay. So yeah, chick crack. I think you can, most of us think of it usually as a romantic ideology and magical thinking. And that's what's widely considered in the space to be chick crack, right? Well, I was looking it up last night. And Royce, if you guys don't know who Royce is, I talk about him a lot. He's one of the original 3 R's of the manosphere, right? You have Royce, Roosh, and Rollo. So Royce had this article on Chateau Artiste from 2013 called Chick Crack, right? And so he says chick crack is slang for communication techniques or conversational topics which provoke emotional responses. Women breathe, crap, and piss emotions, and they love men who can incite latent passions and take them on journeys to lands far from logic or restraint. For this reason, chick crack is a critical part of game, particularly the attraction stage. The man who can summon a woman's weepy, giggly kraken rules the seas of snatch with an iron trident. It says the Chateau Artiste archives are filled with examples of chick crack, but trawling it could take days. Hopefully, it really provides a succinct list of primary chick crack formulations, right? And he's got some example here from Real Social Dynamics, so RSD and stuff like that. Like try cold reads, role playing, misinterpreting what she says in a sexual way, and qualifying her. These things all take her on a magical journey. Let's see here. There's a page 48 of this book, the Tyler Durden Essentials book. The key thing is to push her through her emotions. You could talk about World of Warcraft if she's in, if that's interesting to you, as long as you can make it emotionally engaging to her, right? So it's all about being emotionally engaged with her. So he talks about cold reads here. So cold reads, yeah, I think most of us would agree that yeah, cold read, it's kind of like, it's almost like telling someone's future. You know what I mean? Ryan Stone talks about this in his book, Fuck Files, right? He talks about the cube, doing the cube, which is an old pickup artist technique. And it's essentially cold reading. You ask a girl to think about a cube and you start asking her specific questions. And based on her body language, like yes, no, you sort of are watching, how she's responding to the questions. And that leads you down a path to really build rapport quickly, right? So they talk about this here, cold reads, right? Be a psychic, pretend to know something about her, or be very observant and actually know something about her, right? Commit these cold read openers to memory, right? I see you're the type of person. You look like the kind of girl, right? I notice you, ... There's something about you that says, right? You get, so like a good example of that, right? If you see a girl who has an Ankh pendant, or like a yin yang or something like that, you could look at that and go, it seems to me that you're probably a spiritual person, you're just making an assumption about her, right? Focus on positive impressions to get a girl talking about herself and therefore projecting the good feelings she gets from her favorite subject, herself, onto you. Advanced cold reads are a complement to embed a challenge to a girl's conception. For instance, you seem really self-assured, but I can tell there are times when you struggle with doubt, right? That one of those types of things, that's a situation where it could literally apply to almost anybody, right? That could literally apply to almost anybody. And so, of course, she's going to think that you're really perceptive, though, right? Who doesn't struggle with doubt? Cold read prediction power validated. Pussy lips blossomed. He has role playing in here. I wouldn't have normally thought of role playing as chick crack, but I can see it. Role playing is basically the ability to have fun and jettison linearity for God, I can't read today. Extemporaneity, whatever. Two attributes in which most men run a deficit. I can't even pronounce it. So yes, it's fairly self-explanatory. You choose a character for yourself and for the girl. Women love to lead down these roads of whimsy, and you construct an alternate reality where the goal is to bring to life a typical female fantasy. Ideally, your role-playing characters will open the door to sexualized conversation. Handy role-play scenarios you should learn and remember are the priest and the wonton woman, daddy and daughter. That daddy and daughter shit creeps me out, man. I wouldn't do that, but boss and secretary, photographer and model, master and slave, professor and student, concerned neighbor and a runaway, vice cop and a prostitute, seducer and the seduced. The advantage of role play is that you can be much bolder with your sexual innuendo than you could in normal conversation because you have the plausible deniability of your character. One thing that Nurse Chick and I like to do when we're like, I think would go hand in hand into the role playing thing is, I started this, right? We would be out people watching and I would just like point at a couple and just make up a story about them. Right. And so now we play this game where we just make up random stories about people that we see. It's a fun thing to do. It's a fun thing to do. Storytelling, right? Oh, there's a pretty long thing about that. Qualification's good. Unlike almost every other man out there, you are qualifying her to see if she meets your strict standards for a pleasing woman worthy of your time and company, right? Girls who are passionate and uninhibited are so rare nowadays. Everyone's cautious, trying not to seem weird. What's the craziest thing you've done recently? She will bite. They almost always do if your pickup progression has been congruent with her escalating mood. And her emotional system will invariably engage. Whatever you do, don't show too much interest in her answer and want to impress her. And that takes work. Carefully, don't qualify too early. You will appear judgmental, and that will close off a woman. Wait for her to show some signs of interest, then qualify her when her outer defenses are down. And then misinterpretation of the words. Basically, this one is all about taking anything she says and sexualizing it, right? Like, oh, you're a dirty bird, right? It's kind of like when a chick says, you know, we're not gonna have sex tonight, and then you're like, what are you thinking about? You're clearly thinking about sex. I'm just trying to take you to get some drinks, you know. That sort of gets them thinking along the lines. Yes, he can't read. He can't read, unfortunately. So that was Royce's take on it. Rollo also wrote an article on chick crack. I'm not gonna read his whole thing. It's, you know, I like Rollo, but he's pretty wordy, right? So I'll just post this in the chat here. I'll just give you the gist of it, right? A stripper he used to bang kept tarot cards in her pink lady's devotional Bible, which he thought was funny, right? Because she's got a devotional Bible, but she's got tarot cards, right? Like the really devout Christians, like they have a thing against stuff like tarot cards and palm reading and all that kind of stuff, right? It's witchcraft. It's bad. It's a sin. But chicks have tarot cards in their devotional Bibles. Rollo also said in that article that he once bought a yin and yang ring in college, and chicks always ask him about it. And I think he still has that ring. And he says it always leads into a discussion about karma or whatever. But he didn't buy it because he was really into karma and yin and yang and spirituality. I think he says in the article that he bought it because it sort of reminds him to keep himself balanced or whatever. But that's kind of chick cracky in itself if you think about it. But you know what? I have a yin and yang tattoo right here. Oh man, he says all women, yes I said all, are predisposed to the intrigue that metaphysical imagining spark in them. If it smacks of secret covert knowledge privy only to a chosen few, then you've got an attentive listener in a woman. Like this stuff is really I think it's so funny. I crack up at it because, you know, you hear like Rich Cooper talk about chick crack, and it's like they almost guys like Rich tell guys to like brush it off, you know, like a chick is say really into astrology and they tell guys, oh yeah, just tell them it's nonsense and make fun of them for being stupid for believing in it. Like that's not a good way. That's not a good way to build rapport. You know, if a chick is really into this stuff, you'll get her, you might actually end up shutting her down if you make her feel stupid for believing in it. Instead, you should play into it. You know, use it to your advantage, right? Guys, tomorrow night is the next beer club hangout. It's going to be a Halloween hangout. We have a solid group of guys right now in the Telegram community. The last several turnouts have been pretty busy. In fact, the last one was so busy, I had to like pull guys in and out of the live stream because some of them weren't talking and then other guys wanted to talk, but you could only have 10 people on the screen at once. So I had to like put people backstage and bring people up. It's a good problem to have, right? It's a good turnout. Guys, we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, right? It's not heavy. There's not a specific topic. You know, I'm not doing like a pod class. We literally just hang out and have drinks and talk guy shit, right? Which is a good outlet for guys because most guys don't have other guy friends. You know what I mean? So they get into relationships, they dump their baggage on their girl, and then their girl loses attraction for them over time. And then the girl leaves and they're like, what the hell happened? So, well, you didn't bring your shit to the boys, you know, bring your shit to the boys, leave her alone. You know, she's got a different job. Okay. Her job is to, you know, have fun with and hook up with. Okay. That's her job. Okay. She's not your therapist. She's not your mom, right? Save that kind of stuff for the boys. It's a good group of dudes. You can join with a free trial. So sign up today. Won't cost you anything. Show up for the meetup tomorrow. If you like it, stay in the club. If you don't like it, cancel anytime. No harm, no foul. Check that out, guys. And then also I have coaching available, guys. Coaching at gumroad.comeonmanpod.com. There's 2 tiers available for that if you want to do any kind of one-on-one coaching with me. All right, so let's go back to my examples in the beginning of chick crack, and let's think of ways that we could use this on a date. Okay. Now, some of these things I'm not like I'm not an expert on these things, right? So I like a palm reading thing, right? I couldn't take a chick's palm and try to read, oh, your lifeline and oh, this one down. I don't know what any of that means. So, but it's funny. My mom used to have a palm reading book when I was a kid. My mom was kind of into that. My ex-wife was really into that. Um, so I could have used it if I took the time to understand what the lines meant and how to read palms. I think it's pretty easy. I think you could probably learn it in a day, maybe a day or two, and practice on some people, and that would actually be a really good way of breaking that touch barrier. Right? We can talk about that here in a minute. So I have horoscopes and astrology. I want to show you guys this video. I thought this was hilarious. I tried to see if this guy's website is still up. I don't see it anymore. I think he let it go, but this was a hilarious concept when he did this. I think this video came out last year or 2 years ago.
Spiritual people on TikTok are mad at me because I made my own astrology website where all the signs are compatible. And people have been using this on dating apps to show the other person they're interested in that they're so compatible. Look at this girl saying, wow, no way, that's spot on. But people are saying that I'm encouraging manipulation and that this is nothing more than a fake astrology website. But all those people miss the main point of me doing this. My astrology comparison site isn't fake. All astrology sites are made up and fake. Y'all just missed the point.
So this guy made a fake astrology website where, and I when this guy first did this, I looked it up and I used it a couple times. It actually worked really good. But you plugged it. Let's say a person on their profile. I think Bumble has it. I think actually most dating websites has people's astrology signs or whatever, because people really do believe in that. Oh, hey, I'm a Leo. You know, I do really well with Sagittarius. You know. Or those Scorpios, they're crazy. So you go and you put in literally any sign, any two signs, and the website spits out why they're super compatible together. And it does basically the cold reading thing where anything could apply to literally anybody, you know? So when people read it, they're like, oh yeah, that's spot on. But it's all nonsense, right? It's all absolutely nonsense. So that was a website that was useful for that. I was trying to find see if I could find another one that did that, but I couldn't find one last night. I'm sure someone else has created a duplicate site. This guy's original site is not there anymore, though. What was Anthony say? I bring a crystal with me and tell them, "Oh, my crystal doesn't like you," and at all, it's burning me and stuff like that. Oh, do you really? I could see that working. But if you don't want to go as far as like finding a website and saying, hey, you know, this website says that we're super compatible, or like, oh, this is crazy. You could literally just say, oh, you know what? Oh, I see that you're a Scorpio. Like I get along really well with Scorpios, right? You can say that same thing to literally any sign and not know anything about those signs. You know, you can, or you could just do a Google search real quick and look up, you know, what your sign is and how compatible it is with that sign. Like, you know, it's funny because if you look at 3 different sites, you'll get 3 different answers. You know what I mean? But if you find one that you're really compatible with, allegedly, according to the astrologers, definitely send them the link. Be like, oh, this is crazy. Apparently, we're going to get along really well. Or you could use it like Anthony here says, right? Like a neg, you know? Let's say they are a Scorpio. Because Scorpios are fucking crazy, guys. Scorpios are crazy. Let's say they are a Scorpio, and you can be like, oh, you're a Scorpio. I could never, right? I saw there was a video on TikTok where a guy literally walked up to every chick and said, what's your sign? And every sign that these chicks said, he's like, ooh, I could never. Ooh, I could never. And it made the chicks want to qualify to him, right? Because they're like, what? Well, why could you never? Why could you never? Right? So you could do it that way. I have numerology here, guys. Numerology. This is like Rollo had a guy on Access Vegas named Gary the Numbers Guy once, and that guy is really big into this stuff. And it's funny because the people that are really into numerology, it is kind of fascinating, you know. Um, they say 3s and 7s are magic numbers, right? If you are a religious scholar at all, the Bible's full of 3s and 7s, right? The universe was created in 7 days. You know what I mean? Jesus rose on the 3rd day, right? There's a lot of 3s and 7s in the Bible. So people look at those like they're magic numbers and stuff like that. So if you find a chick that's really into that, and you don't know much about it, just any of these things, right? If she's really into it and you don't know much about it, ask her about it. Just get her talking about it, right? Love languages, we talked about that. There's 5 love languages, right? The funny thing about love languages, and I'll tell you why it's nonsense. Just a Cliff's Notes version of what Paul Benjamin and I talked about. But in a failing relationship, right? Guys start reading up on this stuff, or they go to a counselor, and the counselor says, you should read the 5 love languages and start speaking to your partner in their love language, right? And so guys will read this stuff, and the funny thing is, when guys read this stuff, almost always, a man's top 2 love languages are words of affirmation and physical touch, right? Physical touch, because guys like to fuck. Okay, guys need it. We need sex like we need to breathe air, right? And then words of affirmation is because that's something that men don't typically get, especially from women. You know, men aren't appreciated verbally by women most of the time. Like, we're expected to do all sorts of stuff, and they never tell us attaboy, good boy, right? So guys crave sex and words of affirmation all the time. So you ask any guy, almost like their top 2 is usually one of those 2, right? Any guy. So that's all bullshit just because of that, right out the door. And you ask a woman what her love languages are, right? It's almost always quality time and acts of service, especially when the relationship's going downhill. But if she's really into you, her top love language is physical touch. Okay? If she's really into you, she has that genuine desire. But like I was mentioning earlier, I was talking to Offie Kingdom about this. He says he likes to figure out what a girl's top love languages are, or top love languages, and then he really goes hard on applying that love language to that chick so that she feels like she's loved, right? But when you do that enough, you'll just got to get a chick to put out. You know what I mean? But you got to be smart about it too, right? You got to, like, let's say her top love language is acts of service. You don't want to be doing acts of service to a chick you're not already fucking. You know what I mean? You know, you can't go and fix a girl's tire and expect sex after that. That ends up being a covert contract type situation. She'll friend zone you, you know, because you're doing boyfriend type stuff before you've, you know, earned the title, right? And it's weird because you ask a chick what a chick likes or what a chick wants in a man. She thinks of the boyfriend type stuff, but if you start doing boyfriend type stuff, she gets creeped out by it because you haven't gotten to that level with her yet. You have to actually do what makes her sexually attracted first and actually have sex with her before she'll want you to do that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So you got to be careful with that, the love language thing. We have our attachment styles. I was telling Paul Benjamin this. Let me look it up real quick. Which attachment styles are most compatible, right? Because people look at it like it's a astrology. So this medium.com site has secure with secure. That's the best. That's the best, right? Secure with anxiously occupied, right? Oh God, let's see here. This one's behind a paywall. If you go through, I found another one. Let's see here. This one might be it. Yeah, the 4 attachments. So secure with secure, that's a green light. Secure with anxious, that's a green light, yellow light situation. Secure with fearful avoidant, that's green light, yellow light. Secure with dismissive avoidant, red light. Anxious with anxious is a yellow light. anxious with fearful avoidant, right? So it's funny though. You know what's the interesting thing about the damn attachment styles is the one that's considered to be the healthiest is the secure attached, and it goes with everyone. So if you can learn to be a little more secure and secure with your attachments, you'll literally pair with anybody. So that's that. Let's see here. Tarot and palm reading. So like tarot and like the cold reading goes hand in hand. The palm reading is really good though, because it really does like someone was saying before, it allows you to break that touch barrier, right? It gives you an excuse to touch your hand. Touching is, a part of kino escalation, right? Kino is short for kinesthetic or touching. That's what it means. That's where kino comes from. You don't have to read a girl's palm to break that touch barrier though, right? You can literally touch her in her upper, like her upper elbow right here, right? That's breaking the touch barrier. Grabbing her hand, that's good. Touching her lower back as you like walk through a restaurant, or go to, lead her in a certain direction. That's breaking the touch barrier. That by itself is good for seduction, but the palm reading thing, it's fun to do. Chicks are into the chick crack part. So she's going to get emotionally engaged in it. Plus you're touching. It's just a winning combo. It's just a winning combo. So all you guys go out there and learn how to palm read, at least go learn how to palm read. Okay. Spirituality, not necessarily religious, right? But someone who's a spiritual person. You could go off on all sorts of tangents with spirituality. It could literally mean anything. But again, like almost all this stuff, you don't have to be an expert in it. You can just ask her about it and ask her to talk about it more and just take a genuine interest in her interest of it, right? We have law of attraction. If you guys want to become experts in the law of attraction, take my course, guys. LOA.comeonmanpod.com. The funny thing is though, like I actually at the beginning of this course give you the 3 explanations, right? I talk about the spiritual aspect of it. I talk about the quantum theory of it. But the whole rest of the course, it's all based on the psychology of it, right? So I take all the chick crack out of this and just give you the tools necessary to apply it, right? Without the chick crack. But understanding the chick crack is good. If you guys want to know more of the chick cracky stuff, just watch the movie The Secret, right? I think it was free for a while on Netflix. I don't know if it is anymore. But I also have it on Amazon Prime. I think you can get it on Amazon Prime. You can rent it on Amazon Prime at least. But definitely check that out because that goes into all the explanations of it. Plus it really does get all woo-woo-y. That's one of the problems with that movie. It's very, very chick cracky. Your attachment style is psycho stalker. Okay, got it. Oh yeah, guys, Mr. Wrong, he's got a course on lunch languages. He also hates the movie The Secret. And in fact, I talk about him in my practical law of attraction course because his aversion to the law of attraction mainly I think came from the movie The Secret. And I was like, I took that really into consideration when I made my course because I knew like how much he hated that. So I was like, let me just take all the chick crack out of it that guy hates. Can any of you guys think of other chick cracks that I might have missed, right? So I have horoscopes, astrology, numerology, love languages, attachment styles, tarot and palm reading, spirituality, law of attraction. Royce talked about storytelling and storytelling and role playing and cold reads, right? So those are all good. Ooh, what's MBTI? What's MBTI? Now I got to Google it. MBTI. What is that? Oh, that's the person Myers-Briggs. Okay. Myers-Briggs type indicator. Oh yeah. That's a good one. Oh, let's see here. What's your personality type? Oh yeah. Int J. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can find out if you're compatible with that one. That's totally chick crack. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Myers-Briggs type indicator. Yeah. There's a chick on Twitter. Her name is Kate, and I think her handle is Deads and Sushi. She likes to shit test guys on Twitter. That's her thing. She's all about Myers-Briggs, right? I think she's at int J, and then attachment style. She told me she was dismissive avoidant. It's like she's totally into that. Oh yeah, here we go. Jungian archetypes, MBTI is compatible with Green's Art of Seduction. Ah, okay. Did you like Art of Seduction? I didn't like it. I loved 48 Laws of Power. Art of Seduction was meh. I didn't even finish the Laws of Human Nature. It was so damn long. You know, it was so long. It wasn't as engaging as 48 Laws of Power, you know? I didn't like that. So I also downloaded Mastery. I was going to read Mastery, but I'm not sure if I want to read Mastery now. I think 48 Laws of Power is like the only one out of Robert Greene's books that I would recommend to people. Yeah. What didn't you like about it, Guy? The Art of Seduction. There's a lot of, it was interesting stories in it, but like all the stuff about being the coquette and whatever, you know, I don't know, the dandy, like the whole thing about basically acting gay. Oh, let's see here. You did Human Nature concise version. Oh, maybe that's what I need. I need to get his concise version of things. Because yeah, some of that stuff is just way too long and drawn out. Yeah. It was just a bit hard to get through, too long. Yeah. That's my problem with it. Like now 48 Laws of Power is long too, but it's good. You know, like just talking about how people used all these, you know, manipulative tactics to gain power is genius. You know, some of that stuff is really genius. But yeah, the law of human nature, like it was so long that I didn't realize like what law we were talking about. Like I forgot what law we were even talking about. You know what I mean? It didn't make sense. Ooh, dream interpretation. Oh, good one. Dream interpretation. Yeah. Yeah, because dreams can mean freaking anything, you know? I was talking to Ryan Fowler, right? Ryan Fowler. And he actually audited my law of attraction course. And then he gave me access to his course, which is SOS. I can't remember what that is, but you know, Ryan Fowler, if you guys don't know, he's a hypnotist. And so we got to talking about like law of attraction. And I was like, you know, I try to take all the woo woo out of it. And he's like, well, you know, like anything dealing with the mental really does become woo woo. And he's like, if you think about dreams, like dreams are so woo woo, right? Dreams can be completely out there because that's just how our minds work. You know what I mean? So yeah, dream interpretation was good. You did the concise version of Laws of Power. Didn't know there was a concise version of Seduction. I'm gonna have to go and see if I can find the concise version of Mastery and concise version of the Laws of Human Nature. I think I might revisit it if I could read the concise versions. But this Art of Seduction wasn't even that long to begin with. Maybe I did read the concise version. I don't know. Well, that's it, guys. So basically, this sort of goes hand in hand with you know, just in general, taking a genuine interest in a chick, right? Don't shoot down a chick for being into woo-woo, spiritual, numerology, magical thinking, right? Embrace it, right? Use it to your advantage. Because anything that gets a woman to spike her emotions is going to help you to get her into bed. It really is. You could use all this stuff to your advantage. Yeah, you might think it's stupid. Yeah, you might think it's chick crack. It's not masculine. But you know what? Women aren't supposed to be masculine, right? They're supposed to be feminine. They're supposed to believe in this kind of stuff. So use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage, guys, just like anything else, right? You don't think that Ryan understands what woo-woo means? Okay, I believe each of Green's books have a concise version. Okay. I'll have to take a look. Then. All right, let's see here. Guys, if you haven't done so already, get on the email list.comeonmanpod.com. I've got a list of 20 dating app openers. I don't think any of them have chick crack in them, but they're all getting responses, right? I'm especially guys in the beer club. The guys in the beer club are testing these out. These guys are really putting these through their paces, and they're all getting responses. The problem with this, right? And this is where practice comes in, is I'm giving you guys a way to get a conversation started with a chick, right? But you have to learn how to hold a conversation with a chick, right? So a lot of guys will get a response from a chick and then go, I don't know what to say next. So you guys need to learn how to think on your feet with some of this stuff, right? But a lot of guys out there are having a hard time just getting conversations started because they're opening with boring openers like, hey, how are you? What's up? Or whatever. And that is it's boring. It gets lost in the sauce. So these ones will get a chick to go, what the fuck? Right? Just long enough to get your foot in the door. Right. And that's the goal of these. And I also, if you read the whole PDF, it's not literally just a downloaded list. I explain this, like what's the goal here. I don't like canned openers. I don't think they're a good idea. They're sort of a nice tool to give you a good idea of how to open, but you need to really take that and expand upon it and make it your own, right? So that can help lead the way. And then on top of that, when you get on the list, you also get these free stickers. I mail them to you. I got to mail out about a dozen more of these today. So anyway, get on the list, list.comeonmanpod.com. There's a link to all this type of stuff in the description. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. It's going to be a short episode today. It's not rocket science, right? Just if a chick's into this stuff, use it to your advantage, right? Maybe like say you're meeting a chick on a dating app and she's got some of this stuff in her bio. Just do a quick Google search and see how you can use it to build rapport with her, right? And get her on a date. If you get her in person, you can talk more about this stuff and then get her into bed. You see where this goes? Okay, good stuff, guys. Friday's episode will be about how your girl is not on your side. Okay. There's an old Archwinger article on how she's not your friend, right? Basically, you can't show weakness around your girl. She's not on your side. There's a lot of guys in the space, and I can think of one off the top of my head that likes to talk about how it's you and your girl versus the world, guys. It's you and your girl versus the world. Nah, she's not on your side, bro. She's not on your side. So we're going to talk about that on Friday. The first draft of my book is back from the editor. He recommended that I write a conclusion chapter. So I've got to knock that out on Sunday. I'm going to knock out the conclusion chapter, send that back to him, have him edit that. Then I got to go through all of his edits and apply the edits. And then I'm probably after that going to maybe have a nurse chick do a once over of it. And because girls are really good at finding flaws and shit. You know what I mean? That's why Clary uses a female editor, because girls are really good at finding problems, right? So hand that off to nurse chick to read through and see if there's anything that needs correcting one more time. And then we'll be ready to start the process of getting it on Amazon. Hopefully get this some bitch done in time for Christmas, guys. Keep an eye out for that. The book is everything I wish I knew when I was 18. All right. Let's see here. Anything else? No, that's it. No more super chats. We will see you guys on Friday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.